Hello, my loves, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited that you are here, and I'm doing another What I Am Reading in this Season video. Now, I haven't done one since we first moved into this house back in November, December, and I usually did it for like every season, and we just got into spring, and these are all books I mostly read in winter, so we're just going to say this is like a winter/spring what I am reading. If you are new here, I usually post videos about what it means to live an aligning, fulfilling, and present life, just like I do on my podcast. Many times those are yoga flows, meditations, vlogs, or talk videos like this. But I just love to do a lot of different things on this channel. So if you're into discovering what it means to live an aligning life for you, please subscribe, please check out the podcast, and let's get into what I read in this season. Now, the first book I do not have a copy of because I got it from our local library. I haven't been doing that a ton this season because I have a ton of physical books that I need to read. But you guys know I love going to the library and just seeing what books speak to me. And it is 100% free. In case you forgot, that's how libraries work. You just have to sign up for a card and then you get it for a few weeks. I don't actually know how long you get the book for. It's like a few weeks or a month or so. Anyways, and I just love letting my intuition, my internal guidance pick the books. Well, this book was just obviously speaking to me. You guys know that I'm a little bit witchy, I'm a little bit hippie, all into those kind of vibes over here. They just align with my mission. But anyways, this book was called Witch Unleashed, Untamed, Unapologetic by Lisa Lister. And I've read a lot of different witchy books, so some of the information I already knew, but I still really appreciated just how inspiring and empowering it is. A lot of this stuff is just not taught in mainstream media, like how we've taken these ancient holidays, these ancient traditions, these ancient ways of living, and they've really kind of been twisted, or a lot been twisted, by modern culture, religion, patriarchal influences. So if you're into witchy stuff, if you're into feminism, if you're into just learning the ancient ways of approaching different things, I don't think there's any wrong way to be a witch. To be a witch to me is to just be connected to your intuition, to nature, to your truth. That is what witchy means to me. But I don't think there's necessarily a wrong way to do it unless you're harming other people. Then that's probably the wrong way to do it. So highly recommend if you're into witchy, magical, empowering female books. Now the next one is also an empowering female book, and that is, I do have the physical copy, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Now this is not a book I would read on my own, even though I've heard so much about it. I remember this really blew up on social media a few years ago, but I started a book club with some friends from Phoenix. It really helps us stay connected, and someone picked out this book. So I was like, why not? I've heard lots of good things about it. And man, it was nothing like I expected it to be. I'm not going to get into any of that because that would give away a lot of the book. But if you haven't read it yet and you like, I guess it's called historical fiction, I think I'll double check that, because it's kind of like loosely based off things that happen in history, but it's not a true story. But if you're really into like the glamour of old Hollywood, or just like the crazy things that happen in Hollywood, you would really enjoy this story. And also it has a lot of feminist undertones, which I really appreciated. I found her story to be inspiring, and a lot of the things that she said or learned, or the other female character in there, I found inspiring. So again, highly recommend, and I'm glad that I read that one. I think it's good to throw in some books every once in a while that you wouldn't normally read. I'm normally like a spiritual, more towards the self-help, make you question everything about your life kind of book, or a fantasy book kind of girl nowadays. So this was a good one to just throw in there. My taste in books has really been a mixed bag recently, and I'm totally okay with that because I'm kind of a mixed bag personality. I'm into all different kinds of things. Now this next one is also a little different, and that is For Small Creatures Such as We by Sasha Sagan. Now in my last What I'm Reading in This Season video, I was reading Cosmos by Carl Sagan. Now I didn't finish that. I think I will just continually reference that book because it is quite large, with very small print. And it's more of like a coffee table book, if you know what I mean, than just like a sit down and read book. But I have been watching the new season, which is not new. It came out in 2020. I just missed it somehow. Series of The Cosmos that they did with Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's so good. I am just a science girl at heart. As you know, in the podcast, I've been bringing together spirituality and science, and it just makes my mind and my soul and my heart so happy. So in this book, she just kind of goes through all the major things that we celebrate as a society, from birth to death, to getting married, to the seasons, to coming of age. And she really explains how we celebrate it from different cultures. And her perspective, just like her father, is very scientific, very secular, which you know that I'm definitely more of a spiritual, hippie, witchy kind of girl. But I also really appreciate science. So it's just really interesting to learn about different religions. I really appreciate her perspective. It's also a little bit of a memoir if you're interested in more about Carl Sagan and her life. Really well written. And in the first chapter, I was just like, I want to be her friend. Like, we would totally get along. I wish we could be friends in real life. Now, the next group of books, I only have the current one that I am reading because I've lent all the other ones to my friends, and potentially my mom is going to read them. But I have been reading the last 3 books in A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I'm currently more than halfway through A Court of Silver Flames. An unpopular opinion, I think this one might be my favorite one yet. I know, I feel like I've said that about every single one, besides the Frost and Starlight one. I enjoyed that one, but it's definitely not my favorite. But each one just keeps getting better and better. And this one is a lot more spicy than the other ones, which, you know, is fun to read. And I've just really been enjoying the story, the dynamics here. Such a good series. Highly recommend. Sometimes they can be like a slow build-up or slow burn, but if you're into Twilight, like I said in my last video, or you just appreciate fantasy, and they even celebrate like the solstices and equinoxes in here. That's what the one before this, that short novella, is all about. And they're celebrating the winter solstice. It's like their Christmas, which Christmas is loosely based off of the winter solstice. A whole nother rabbit hole we can get into, and like I mentioned in the witch book that I read. So I really appreciate that, and I just love the magical vibes. It's a good story, so well written, and I think there's more to come. I think there's at least 2 more books, so I'm excited that this series is not done. Gives me something to look forward to when I finish this book. Also, if you have any other recommendations in that genre, or really related to any of these books that I've shared, please leave them in the comments. I'm always adding to my TBR list. When I said I'm reading a mixed bag, I am reading a mixed bag of books. This next one that I have just kind of barely started is How to Talk So Little Kids Will Listen, Survival Guide to Life with Children ages 2 to 7. Started this, already love it. It's interesting how these principles align with everything that we discuss on the podcast. Like, little humans aren't that different from big humans, and they really just want to be validated and heard and listened to. That's the first strategy in here, is just like acknowledging their emotions, which you don't stop there. I know that's a lot of criticism with respectful parenting and conscious parenting, which I had a really good episode with Kim Gross on the podcast. I'll link it, on conscious parenting. Loved all the things that she shared. It's not just about like, validating their feelings. You start there, and then there's so much more to it. So I'm excited to keep diving into this. I know it's strange how I'm reading like multiple books at once. Some of these I've already finished, but this, A Court of Silver Flames, and the next one I'm reading 3 books at the same time. So let's get into the last one, which is The Body Keeps Score. I just read the prologue. That's it. This is for my book club with my friends. We did Evelyn Hugo. Now we're reading this, really jumping around in genres, which I love. I've heard so many good things about this book. I've heard about it for a long, long time. I didn't realize how centralized around trauma it is, even though that's literally in the title. Brain, mind, and body, and the healing of trauma. My friends have said that it's pretty heavy, like a lot of traumatic stories are shared, like as real life examples, which makes sense. So I'm kind of nervous about that because I don't want it to like bum me out, but I also think it's really important to learn about this stuff, especially with the line of work I do, with what I talk about on the podcast. Trauma comes up a lot. It's something that we've all dealt with, either on a large scale or a smaller scale. And I'm also so interested in how the mind, body, and soul are interconnected, which I think this is going to dive into from a scientific perspective, which, you know, I love. Connecting those two is like chef's kiss for me. So that is what I'm reading in this season. Like I said before, if you have any recommendations, leave them in the comments below. Or if you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts. I love discussing these books with my friends. It's been so much fun to have a book club and discuss A Court of Thorns and Roses with my best friend. She's been reading it. And if you are new here, please subscribe. We have new videos pretty much every week. It's a mixed bag of videos, just like me. But if you're into this stuff, I know you will enjoy the other ones. So give this video a like. It lets me know that you want to see more like this. I'm sending you all so much love, all the highest vibes, and I'll see you in the next video.